Hello guys, boxing fans, anybody out there who's watching, hello and welcome back to Andy's Cavern. Hope you're all well tonight out there, and this dreich night. Might be alright with you, I don't know. What are we talking about tonight? Bricktop'S tune. Looks like Dillian Whyte is whistling it now, isn't it? He's all best pals act with Uncle Frank. After all that in the past, no turning up to press conferences, no getting involved in promotion for his title challenge to Fury, which was, looking back on it, quite a feeble challenge, wasn't it? Both on different levels. Fury completely outclassed him. To what was Fury's only mandatory defence, to my knowledge. But did Whyte deserve that position? There could have been people in a better served to make a better challenge than what he gave that night at Wembley Stadium, I think it was, wasn't it? So that was that, wasn't it? That was that. So now he's taking on Big Joe Juggernaut Joyce. And a battle of two short fighters, in my opinion. I like Joe Joyce, especially when he came on the scene. He was match tough. Never had any easy touches really. You could say he's got what I would call a lean resume. It's no padded out with lots of gimme fights like some boxers' records. A bit like Usyk, he's probably got the leanest resume in the boxing world to an extent, I would say. There are some other ones with good resumes, but I don't think Fury and Joshua's resumes are anything like as good as Usyk's. So you've got him, he's coming off a defeat to Derek Chisora, isn't he? Whyte looked awful in his last two fights, in my opinion. What's he going to look like in this fight? Any better? I think he's a bit younger than Joe Joyce, but my pick is Joyce. I think Joyce has got enough left to do Whyte and grind him down a late stoppage possibly, or a points defeat. He'll win him points, I think, Joe Joyce. So we'll wait and see, but I don't think either of them should be fighting anymore. Both for different reasons, obviously. I think Joe Joyce is maybe taking too much punishment. Though I did hear him say, somebody was, I think it was probably Whyte, slagging him off at the press conference that he was coming across as vacant. He said he's been like that since his school days, but whether that's right or not, or he's just saying that to try and play it down, I've no idea. But certainly, I've seen him being interviewed and he just seems to fade off into, I don't know, his mind seems to be elsewhere. Which is a bit of a shame. He comes across a really nice guy, but let's hope he gets out the sport without enduring any more damage. Whyte, on the other hand, he's had umpteen failed drugs tests, hasn't he? We never actually heard. Well, I didn't. I think somebody put in the comments one time when I mentioned this, what was saying about contamination, but the waters are always muddied around these situations, so I think there needs to be more clarity, and it should be a level playing field for everybody. It should be a standardised procedure for people that fail drug tests. Because Liam Cameron getting something like a 4 or 5 year ban for cocaine being deemed as a recreational drug, and then you've got other guys on PEDs and that only getting a couple of years or whatever. So, and some folk, have they been banned, have they not been banned, the can's been kicked down the road, and it's a mess. The whole thing needs sorted out, but we'll see what happens going forward. And talking about Chisora, there's talk of him fighting Wilder. Now, I think that was mooted about 12 years ago or 10 years ago or something about that time, but is that going to happen now? Again, you've got two shot fighters. Who shot more? Wilder looked pretty awful against Zhang the last time, didn't he? and Parker gave him a pounding before that. So I don't think he's got a lot left, and I think he'd be foolish to come back now, but there's always going to be a big carrot dangled, isn't there? Whether it's a Saudi carrot or a carrot in this country, I have no idea, but I don't know. Some boxers find it hard to retire, I think, don't they? The love of the limelight and the roar of the crowd, it's probably gets their adrenaline going. It's maybe becomes an addiction, but it's a dangerous addiction, isn't it? Getting out at the right time is, it's not many do it, is there? Lennox Lewis, Carl Froch, Joe Calzaghe, I would say they all kind of got out at the right time, didn't they? But when you see people going on too long, it is concerning, isn't it? It is a big concern. But then there's people sanctioning the fight, and then there's media bumming them up, and oh, you can do it, you can do it, you can beat them. They're facilitating the downfall of fighters' health, which to me is wrong. But it's like there's a narrative going, and they've got to stick to it, so which is a bit worrying. It's not right. Hall of Fame British boxing trainer Joe Gallagher's been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I believe. I'm sorry to hear that. I think Joe Gallagher's a great guy, one of the honest guys in boxing, a straight shooter. I think he's been involved in the sport for over 30 years, so he's given blood, sweat and tears to our sport that we all love. So we just pray for him and wish him well on his battle against cancer, which is an awful disease, as I'm sure you're all well aware. So we just hope Joe does well. He's got a good fighting spirit, doesn't he? So that should stand him in good stead, and fingers crossed he comes through the other side. All been well, eh? So yeah, sorry to hear that. Awful. So we're going into fight week now for the big Riyadh card for February 22nd, where you've got the Better Bivol rematch for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world, and we've also got Dubois versus Parker. I think that'll be a cracking fight, because I think, you know what Dubois was like against Joshua, he's pumped up and ready to go, and Parker seems pumped up and ready to go. They both look confident, so I think that'll be an absolutely brilliant fight. Brilliant fight, but that could be fight of the night. I think you've also got Zhang against Kabayel. I think you've got Joshua Buatsi against Callum Smith, and there is some other ones off the top of my head. I just can't think of them at the moment. But I'll be doing some videos this week leading up to the big week. I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest bills for at least 20 years, isn't it? That's a mega bill of boxing. Don King used to put on big shows with loads of different world title fights on them, and Bricktop put on, was it the Full Monty in Sheffield? That was a big show he put on back in the day, wasn't it? Lots of good fights. So that's us for the night. I was on my Russ and Porky's Corner earlier. So if you haven't liked and subscribed Porky's Corner, look it up. The voice of hardcore boxing, the biggest gob in sport, he calls himself. It's all good stuff. If you want honest opinions on things, that's the place to go. So we try and do here as well. We've also got Canada Bob. He was on with Russ after me the night on Porky's Corner. So look up Canada's boxing channel. Bob's a good guy. He's a retired guy, an absolute avid boxing fan, and he knows his stuff. And he's done a lot of good videos on historic fighters back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's well worth a look. It's all good stuff. So that's all here for tonight. And don't forget, Boxers in Need. You've maybe looked it up already and joined up like I have. If not, have a look. Only take you a few minutes to Google it, www.boxersneed.com. And if you want to give a wee donation to a good cause. It's only like £1 a month, £12 a year. All goes to help grassroots boxing and boxers who are falling on hard times, because once they're off the screen they're out of sight and out of mind, aren't they? So these guys get forgotten about. And they're the guys that spilling their blood, guts and tears to entertain us boxing fans, so they've got to be looked after. So don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you want. I don't always have time to answer comments, or I will look at them, but I don't always have time to get involved in a debate about whatever, but I'll try my best sometimes to respond to them. But keep it positive. This is a positive channel. We don't want any negativity, just want positivity. And if you like what we're doing, feel free to share it with your friends who like boxing. So anyway, that's all for tonight. Somebody mentioned in the comments about Albert Lee. I think the last video I did a daft bit at the beginning with some music, but you might hear a wee bit Albert Lee if you listen close enough here. But I want to do a video about Albert Lee because he's one of my favourite musicians. So I've got some footage of him at the last what his last show I went to. So I need to compile it together. Just getting time to do that. I'll try and get that done some point soon. Okay, guys. Hope you're all well out there. Be happy. Be healthy. Till the next time. Take care. Cheers.